This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Mohr with Realty One Group Music City.
And I am Jason Hoover, sitting in for Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
You can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com. That's questions@talkmusiccity.com. Jason Hoover in the house,
sir.
Representing the one and only Carey Ann Cyr from CMG Financial. Man, I don't need to be that job.
Right?
And we have the one and only Mrs. Mohr, more commonly known as Connie Sue. And we have this awesome.
She's going to hit you.
Not till we get home. I don't want to think I'm a husband abuser.
We have this amazing lady who's going to talk all things Instagram and social media, which I'm sorry, but I guess I was born back when they carved in the cave walls.
I think they found some of your drawings here recently.
Erica Richmond, it's so good to have you with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, your reputation is going far and wide out there. You know, it's really interesting how many times that Connie and I hear that, well, you know, I follow this professional on Instagram, and finally I reached out to her to ask her what office is she in, and so she said you guys are the best. So thank you for that vote of confidence.
That's what I'm here for.
We appreciate it. So I can't add to a lot to this other than every once in a while I'll throw in a But I understand that we know that you're a very successful real estate professional, obviously, and you get, I think, all your business off of Instagram. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I have been licensed for like 4.5 years now, and pretty much like 3.5 years.
Let's pause for a second. I'm sorry for interrupting you. You came from a company that insisted that you make phone calls or something. Is that what I heard?
Yes, that is correct. Cold calls, door knocking, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to stay in this business very long because like we were saying beforehand, they were like, you have to make a cold call before you leave. And I literally called my mom. I was like,
yay, Mom.
She didn't yell at you or anything, did she?
She was like, along with this, like, you know, I think I might have texted her right before, and I was like, well, I'm about to make a call. And I was like, okay, I've got to figure out something else because
The reason I'm laughing is I've been in those meetings as well, and I call people like that I knew as well.
Yeah, just somebody answer anybody.
Can we have an appointment tomorrow? Can we get an appointment tomorrow?
Act like you want to buy a house.
Yes.
Or you put the phone to your ear, then all of a sudden you get a call on it, like, oh.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting,
No,
Erica.
you're fine.
But thank you for sharing this. So you've been in the business for a little while now. Let's continue on, please.
Yeah. So like I said, early on in the business, I was like, okay, cold calling, door knocking, honestly, open houses. I am a total introvert. So like trying to talk to a bunch of people and be surrounded by a lot of people is uncomfortable at times. And so I was like, how can I get in front of a lot of people without having to talk to everybody and, you know, do all these things all the time? And so I was like, well, let me try social media. And this was back in like 2018. Social media is nothing like it is today. So that's why we were just joking. I'm like, if you go back to my first post, I'm like, what was I doing? But it was like, hey, something has to work because this is like my only option now.
Right.
And so it really just...
Now that you sold a home to your mom.
Yeah. This is all I got. I'm going to have to not be in real estate very long. And so I was like, I just have to make it work. And I just kept, showing up and trying new things. And once I kind of saw that it was working, we were just talking about outside. Like, they were like, when did you get your first client? And it was somebody from California. And I'm like, how did somebody from California find my post? And I'm like, people really are watching that. You don't realize, like, how much reach that you have. And so, yeah, for like the last 3.5 years, pretty much all of my business has been from social media, and then just now like repeat clients. But yeah, it's been a really good resource.
Nice.
Very cool. And so let's break it down. So Instagram is you say social media. There's several things to choose from, but your primary strength is Instagram?
Yes. So like the very first year before I started my Instagram page, I did Facebook ads because I'm like, well, I'm just going to start something. And so I ran Facebook ads, like list of homes for sale between like 300,000 to 400,000 or something like that. But I quickly realized like the people I was attracting were not my ideal clients. Like I was just putting stuff out there like, hey, click on this. And I was like, I want to have a little bit more control of like the type of clients that I'm attracting. And on Facebook, these people that the like ads are reaching, they really can't see much about you. Facebook's a lot more private, where on Instagram, the content that I put out, people can get to know, a little bit about who I am, the types of houses I sell, what it's like to work with me before they ever reach out. And so I was like, running the Facebook ads really wasn't going to be long term. Plus, it's really expensive, where Instagram is a free marketing platform. So Instagram's kind of where I've just gone all in.
And we were chatting about this a few weeks ago. I thought it was really interesting when you said that, with Op City as an example, you don't know them, they don't know you, it may be real, it may not. And when people were reaching out to you through your social media effort, through your Instagram effort, it's like they were friends already. They already trusted you. They already knew a little bit about you and so forth. I thought that was pretty cool. It's almost like working on a referral.
Right. I always say they're more, converting and loyal clients because they have been probably watching along for a couple months before ever saying anything. And there's less question as like Op City. They think I'm like the listing agent, and they're like, I just want the first person that's going to answer the phone, whether they want to continue to work with me or not. But Instagram, the clients that I get are a lot more loyal and my type of people.
Now, when you're posting, is it all about real estate, or is there personal stuff about you and your life, or what is it that's attracting people? Is it all real estate?
No, I actually think that the less that you post real estate, the better, because if people want to see the houses and stuff like that, they can get on Zillow, realtor.com. They want to get on social media to be social. And so posting local content, things people are searching for, and then kind of mixing in the personal so they can kind of see who it is that they would be working with. And so I always try to think what is something that people are going to search for before moving to the area, because I do a lot of relocation clients. And so I would share things to do, places to check out while you're in town. And so they come across my post in that way. And then they also see that I sell houses once they start looking at my Instagram page.
One of the things I loved, excuse me, when we first started talking about you doing a class for us, which we're excited about, can't wait. We have a full house. Was that, Eric, are you sure, you've tapped into something that has really become significant in your world and others as well. Are you confident enough, I guess, in your, and not to get in front of people, but confident enough in your ability to attract people into your world through this medium that you're willing to share your gold, your secrets? And I loved your answer because, Connie and I are always, promoting, and I know Jason does as well, is come from a place of abundance. Don't come from fear and lack and so forth, but come from a place of there's plenty for all. And I loved your response because you said, I'll attract a different kind of person to me than Connie will attract to her or Jason will attract to him. I don't do any attracting because I don't know how. I mean, you could hold a gun to my head. I wouldn't know how to get into Instagram, honestly. I'm just being real. But I love that abundant attitude, I guess what I'm saying. I love that about you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's what I think we could all kind of say the similar things, but we kind of put our own spin to it, and then including ourselves in the content, it does come off differently to different people. And just the world of social media, there's so many different ways to search for people that there's more business for all of us, so it's not coming from a scarcity mindset.
Love that.
So with Instagram, there's many different parts to it. Yes. I mean, it's almost, it sounds like a very simple platform, but there's many different things that are involved. What are some of those things that, if you have an agent that's trying to get started with Instagram, what should they really focus in on? And, because I know you got Reels, and I'm not the man, I don't know much about it myself. And I know you got hashtags. Of course, Monte's generation, those would be pound signs.
What's with the pound signs anyhow? What is that about?
That is a hashtag.
So what would you say, just kind of starting out?
So starting out, really, you kind of have to start from who it is that you are looking to attract, thinking about that type of person, whether it be, buyer, seller, relocation, and then type of thing like what type of content do they want to consume. So there's some people that prefer just scrolling pictures, or some people that do enjoy the videos, and you have to really create what they want to see. Instagram today is all about video, just because, video marketing is what they want to say, like the future of all.
Yeah. It's like TikTok, and everything's going video now.
So you kind of have to do what Instagram wants you to do, really, to grow. But to get started, you really just have to figure out who it is that you are showing up for, what they want to see, and then just trying to figure out how you can be consistent. Because I feel like some people are like, okay, I'm ready to start, and they start posting every single day, they don't even know what to post. And so you really have to think, how can I, do more quality posts over quantity and really get consistent about showing up.
What times and days are best to post?
So for times, it really comes back to like your ideal client and thinking about what time you think that they will be on the app. And so like I always say, like if you are focusing on families and maybe you're targeting moms, thinking about like, are they getting on the app during their kids' like nap time or when they put them to bed at night? Because each of us trying to attract somebody different, and we're going to have different times that do best. It's not just like, oh, if you post at this time, like 9 a.m., this is when everything does good. It does kind of depend on your followers and the people that you're trying to attract, what time they're on the app.
And how often, though?
That kind of still comes back to the consistency thing. I think it goes back to how much quality posts that you can put out. I think, 3 times a week is a good amount of times to be like, hey, I'm staying top of mind, but I'm not like completely overwhelming you, because you'll hear people say like, you need to post every single day. That can be overwhelming, and then you're going to burn out, and then you're not going to post at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's a ton of businesses that market to agents to help with social media. There's different apps, programs, services. To hear from somebody who's professional in it and knows it, are there like certain apps and programs you use or suggest agents use that can help them in Instagram, or do you just strictly post directly to Instagram yourself?
So I do post directly to Instagram, but when I was first getting started, probably back in 2019, I came across a like marketing platform that helps real estate agents come up with content, because that is the number one thing that people struggle with. It's like, what do I even post?
Right.
And so I've been using Coffee and Contracts for multiple years now, and they put together like stock images, customizable captions, and that really helps you like take out the guesswork of what to really say, but you kind of still have to put your own branding to it, because if multiple of us here in Nashville are sharing the same thing, that's when it's really important to make sure you're still speaking to your ideal client and including yourself in that content so that you kind of stand out.
Okay.
But that takes out a lot of the time of what to post. And then you kind of learn over time what works and what doesn't, and like what your clients like to see more of, but adding in more of that like local content. But the posting myself, I do like to do that just so that I'm on the app if people have questions. Gotcha. Or they comment, that way I can like quickly answer them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know, but I've heard that there's different ones that you can set it up to post at certain times, and you can analyze what's the best time to post. So I wasn't sure.
So if you want to set it up to post for you, you can use like Facebook Creator Studio, and I think you can set up what times. And then what was the second part that you said?
Just analyzing when they're on the apps and seeing your stuff, so you know when to post, and the hashtags. Like how do you come up with hashtags? How do you know what hashtags work?
Sorry, I think you asked me about hashtags.
Yes.
So for hashtags,
that's the pound sign, right?
The pound sign.
Right.
Yes.
Just want to make sure I'm tracking with you.
So that is, it used to have a lot more to do with the growth of your account, but it still is a really good way to categorize content. So if clients were just to go on Instagram, they could search like hashtag Nashville Realtor. And I think that is a good way that people have found me for a long time. But you want to make sure that you're using hashtags that your ideal client will actually search for. So I see a lot of times people will just do like hashtag realtor, hashtag buy a house. And these are too broad of a hashtag, like they're not location specific. And so you want to make sure that you're adding in like city, realtor, and then like not just doing real estate hashtags, like things to do in Nashville or Nashville living and different stuff like that. That way you're reaching people that maybe aren't actually looking for a realtor, and then they just happen to come across your page and see that you're mixing in local and real estate posts.
You're bringing value to,
and then you're staying top of mind, whether they ever buy or somebody that they know buys, because they're like, oh yeah, I follow this realtor on Instagram. I'm never, maybe never going to buy, but I love that she posts a lot of different stuff.
Speaking of the word following, how many people do you know? I mean, isn't that kind of how it's measured? How many followers you have? I don't know.
I guess.
So how does that work?
How does the following work?
Yeah, I mean, how many do you know how many were following you? I didn't see anybody when you came in the office here.
Well, there's paparazzi's out the door.
I just hit 20,000 followers.
20,000 followers.
That's amazing.
That's great.
That sounds like a lot. Small city.
You have followers and you don't even know it.
I know.
Serious. He has Instagram and followers and doesn't even know.
I have an Instagram?
You do?
Oh, man. That's good.
We were talking about that. I was like, people, it's crazy to think that people follow me that like I've never met and they know so many different things about my life. And like, they're like, hey, I want to work at Realty One Group. I'm like, that's so crazy that people follow what you're doing, but that's just the power of social media.
Yeah.
So you are getting to be a known teacher on the topic. If you were to sit down, can you give us a little glimpse of what we're in for tomorrow on your class?
So I started teaching the classes and mentoring. It really just kind of happened naturally because other agents started following me and they're like, hey, I want to learn this and how do you do all this? So I, being the total introvert that I am, I'm like, you know what? I do need to teach people because so many people think that they can't do it or, like I don't have it all figured out. And I want to teach people like you don't have to have it all figured out before you just start. And so tomorrow I'm just kind of break down figuring out who it is that you're marketing to and how to like fully like optimize your profile so like the work that you're putting in does convert more clients.
Now let's pause there for a second. When you say who you're looking for, are we talking about price range, area of the country? Are we talking about particular likes that you have in common? What do you say? What do you talk about when you're looking for who you're going to attract, or do you create that based on your likes? I don't understand.
So you really want to sit down and figure out who your ideal client is. A lot of people say, oh, I just want to help you buy and sell, but to get more specific, it's going to help you show up on Instagram. So I like to look at it. Could be
single moms or it could be veterans or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then really so single moms, are they currently renting? Are they upgrading, downsizing? So you're really getting specific, but you want to look at it in that sense, and then city specific, like where do they want to live? What style house, what price range, and then how do you connect with them outside of real estate so that way you are, having something to relate on, but kind of just like creating this client avatar in multiple ways, kind of asking them, renting, downsizing, where do you want to live? And that's the type of content that you want to create. So kind of figuring out who it is. Because if you don't know who you're showing up for, you're going to post too much stuff and it's not going to reach anybody. Because it's going to be like, who does she really work? Like, what type of clients does she work with? So really getting specific. And it's not to say that you're never going to get clients in another form of business, but it just kind of helps say when your ideal client does come across your page, like you speaking directly to them.
Awesome.
It's just carried on a conversation you don't even know you're having.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because your content's working for you or not actually on the app. So you want to make sure that you're putting things out that they can, read and lead them to your resources and lead them to your website and stuff while you're not even on the Instagram app.
Are there resources or websites available for an agent where it would help them with hashtags?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Really, I just like to do my own research. So if you go to the hashtag tab on Instagram and you start typing in the city, it starts auto-populating hashtags. And that's where you can kind of go through and make a list of what type of content that you want to do. So that's where you can come up with, Nashville Realtor, Nashville Homes for Sale, Nashville restaurants, things to do. So the hashtags start auto-populating and you can kind of like research. And you can even follow hashtags. And so if like locals, like people, business owners in the area start posting content, they also use hashtags, those will start popping up in my feed because I follow those. And it's just an easy way to engage, make that connection. Because Instagram is great for getting clients, but it's also great with like connecting with other local business owners and getting real estate referrals from other agents because there's just so many of us on the Instagram app. So it's a good community that you can build on there.
Yeah, and the reach is tremendous, especially
is.
when you start getting involved with other businesses.
Definitely.
So you have different things like stories, reels, obviously photos and things. What gets the most engagement?
So for me personally, I think videos are doing the best, but engagement wise, I like to do posts that people want to save. So you can save a post on Instagram for later, and Instagram really likes that because it makes it look like, oh, this must be really valuable and important. And so like sharing like things to ask a builder before doing new construction, save this if you're considering building a house, or save this if you're planning to visit Nashville or relocating, and giving them like different places and resources. So, and then to really get engagement, you can ask them questions in the caption, or like ask for recommendations. People love to like, share their opinion on things. And so you really kind of have to set it up for people to want to answer and to save your post. But
questions and surveys and
yeah, so you're providing something of value in the caption, and you can say like, what questions do you have for the new construction process? Or I'm looking for a new place to eat in Nashville. What's your favorite restaurant? And that gives them a way to comment and answer, and it starts conversations and then gives you more engagement.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I was going to ask that. You get ideas from your comments.
I really do have to compliment you before I forget, and we run out of time here, but I can't tell you how many agents that we've interviewed that have come from out of state. Arizona, California, Indiana, Minnesota, where they ask, does Erica Richmond work in your office? I've been following her on Instagram for a long time, and I can't wait to meet her. So hats off to you. You've done a fine job. Honestly, it's
I think
astounding.
at tomorrow's class you may be asked for an autograph.
You might.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm always happy to share. That's what I say. I have agent friends all over, so it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing.
I interrupted you earlier when you were going to talk about tomorrow's class, a little sneak peek. So you're helping them identify what they're looking for, who they're looking for. Mm-hmm. What's the next step?
We're going to identify who you are marketing to, and then really how to optimize your profile, making sure you have landing pages, lead capture methods in place for, to get clients' information, and how to optimize your profile so that people can't easily come across your page. So I have some tips and strategies for that. And then I'm going to give some content ideas because, that's what we were talking about. That's the hardest thing for people is what to post and how to make sure that post is coming across the right audience. Just really how it all ties together. It's just a cycle. The more you do, the easier it gets. But the world of digital marketing is so big and it's honestly not going anywhere. So the more quickly that, you can start building a business online, the more quickly you can scale it.
Get a footprint out there.
I know a lot of agents are don't like doing videos. Now, do they need to be in their own videos, or can it be videos of taking videos of different communities or establishments?
Yeah, I understand that because it took me a long time to get comfortable on video. You definitely don't have to be in all of them, but I do think putting yourself into some of your content helps people relate a little bit more or want to watch a video when they see you in it. But you can very easily mix in, community tours or business tours without you. You kind of just got to build yourself up. Yeah. And then once you post that first video, you're like, okay, that wasn't so bad because we are critiquing ourselves way worse than anybody else is critiquing us. But that just kind of helps your content stand out and probably get better views and engagement if you are personally in it as well.
And like Monte always says, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, that has been the whole thing. Everybody says, oh, just fake it till you make it. I'm like, still faking it. I'm like, oh, I'm going on a podcast. Okay. So that's why I teach these classes, because I want people to see you don't have to be picture perfect. You just got to show up, and people like you for you, so the more you can just get on there, be yourself, show them what it's like to work with you, takes out that question.
So where are you doing these classes? Are you doing live classes? Are you doing webinars, Facebook Lives? What are you doing?
So I've been doing a little bit of both. I've been doing brokerage in-person trainings, and then I've been doing online webinars as well. So that was I never really thought I'd be doing classes. That's why I get up there and I'm like, you want me to teach a class? But here we are. I'm just here to teach and share everything that I know.
And if people do know how to work Instagram, how do they find you?
All my Instagram and social media is Erica Richmond Realtor.
Erica Richmond Realtor.
Yes.
Okay. So I won't be a follower because I don't know how to do it. But
you are following.
I'm gonna follow you.
You are following.
Yes, I'm doing. It's amazing technology today. It's amazing.
Yep.
Anyhow, was there anything else you'd like to share real quickly before we run out of time? We really appreciate this, Erica. I know you're a busy professional, and for you to take time to come in here and share with others. Again, I think you're just sharing. Proving to the universe, proving to all of us that you are living in an abundant world where there's plenty for all. And I love that spirit about you. I love that attitude about it. I love you that you're willing to be transparent and share to our audience today and to the class tomorrow. Is there anything else that I'm missing here?
I don't think so. I think
besides
we kind of covered
pound sign.
After hashtags. No, I think we about covered it all. There's a lot to Instagram, but I think sometimes we overcomplicate it and just, make sure you're just showing up. And if anybody has any questions, I'm always open to answer.
So again, how do they find you?
You go to Instagram and you search Erica Richmond Realtor.
That's they can follow you?
They can follow me.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. It won't be too crowded. There's 20,000 there.
All are welcome.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We truly appreciate it, and we want you to come back again to the talk of Music City Real Estate. Thank you, Erica Richmond.
Thank you.